Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks a lot for spending some time with me on the video and checking it out and making some time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate that. And guys, today I've got a subscriber comment that I want to share with you guys today that Bassmaster management needs to pay close attention to. You guys know that watch my videos and look at the comment section. I get hundreds and hundreds of comments every day, and from a wide range of perspective, but this particular one sort of exemplifies probably the most common comment that I get from subscribers. And if Bassmaster and MLF do not pay attention to these things, it's going to wind up hurting them in the short and the long term. Also, guys, before we get started here, just a quick housekeeping tip to keep the lights on here in the tackle room. I just want to invite everybody to please take a chance to take a second and subscribe here to Intuitive Angling. It's a good way to support the channel. It's free and easy. And also, if you guys are out there looking to purchase some fishing tackle, if you guys go to the description of my videos, use and bookmark my tackle warehouse for your tackle purchases. You guys are supporting the channel in a great way, and me and my family really appreciate that for everybody that's been doing it. So thank you very much for that. Okay, guys, you've heard me talk about this before. I get this whole live scope situation very polarizing. It doesn't need to be polarizing because there's only one right side to the issue. It's if you're not against forward-facing sonar, you're really not paying attention to the long-term sustainability and the effects, the tradition and the heritage of the sport. So there's not like good points on both sides. There's only one side to it. And this comment that I'm going to read you from one of my subscribers, this epitomizes just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of similar comments that I get, specifically over the past 12 months, that we've really seen the complete takeover and the insanity of forward-facing sonar unchecked. So here's what it is. Okay, so anyways, I've been a member of Bassmaster for over 40 years, and if they don't ban forward-facing sonar completely very soon, I'm canceling my membership. I've already had guys, hundreds of people tell me they've already canceled their memberships because forward-facing sonar. I've traveled to countless Elite Series events and Bassmasters Classics over the years, but I refuse to go to Tulsa this year because of Bassmaster's refusal to get rid of forward-facing sonar. I stuck with Bassmaster after the split, but I draw the line at the refusal to ban forward-facing sonar. They may gain money from the electronic companies, but they will lose people like me as a result. Bassmaster, you and MLF better take heed of that and wake up, because I realize that the management of Bassmaster and the management of MLF have their heads in the sand, and they got their heels dug in, and they want to keep that sponsorship relationship open with the electronic companies. So they're going to completely diss and ignore all of their constituency that has supported Bassmaster for decades and decades and decades. You got this one member right here, and this is, like I said, this is a microcosm of how many comments I get like this. You've got loyal Bassmaster members that have been loyal to that organization for decades. Before the people that are working at Bassmaster now, that are making the decisions, were even born, these people were members of Bassmaster supporting the organization. And you guys at Bassmaster are throwing them underneath the bus by your refusal to do anything about forward-facing sonar. We all know what's fixing to happen. There's been such an outrage over this whole thing. And first of all, guys, I target Bassmaster because they are the leaders of this sport. I love them. They're supposed to be the adults in the room. I don't hold out much hope for MLF because they've made zero effort to try to regulate forward-facing sonar. So I'm just writing them off when it comes to doing the right thing. But with Bassmaster, we have seen stuff like this over and over again. And Bassmaster, they've been put in the position where they have to do something. But from all of my reporting, all of my contact with people in the know, all of my contact with people on the Elite Series that have inside contacts, Bassmaster is probably going to just reduce, or they're going to limit the inches of screens that you can have in the boat, and they're going to probably take it down to you can only have one forward-facing sonar transducer. That is nothing. That doesn't change one freaking thing. It's less than a half measure. If you put one live scope transducer on everybody's boat next year and you reduce the number of screen inches, every tournament's still going to get one live scope and it's not going to do anything. It's not going to, there's nothing at all that it's going to change. It's a half measure that is designed, they're probably going to try to spin through some propaganda that they've considered it and they're trying to make amends to it, but it's not going to do anything. Bassmaster, this note that I just sent you, you guys better pay attention to that, because this movement is like, if you figure all the people that take time to send a comment, there's probably, for every one person that comments like this on my videos, there's probably another 100 people that just don't want to take the time to comment, but they agree with that. And it is driving them into the ground. I do not understand how these organizations at the tournaments have their heels dug in, where you have massive public opposition to spotlighting. You have a vocal minority of the bass fishing community that want this technology because they don't have the skills that is required to catch bass by traditional means. They have to have an umbilical cord. They want a shortcut. They don't want to have to put in the due diligence. They don't want to have to put in the decades of time learning like real bass fishermen do. I understand that this vocal minority and the fact that these electronic companies are writing fat checks to the tournament organizations keep them from doing the right thing. But at some point in time, you have to do the right thing. You have to be on the right side of history. You can't let money influence your decisions. You can't let vocal minorities influence your decision. You can't let fear, influence your decision. And right now, it's like I said, there's been a little bit of a lull in this because, that's sort of the way it goes in it. But when Bassmaster makes this rule change that they're probably going to make in there, it is going to do nothing but piss off all of the members here by doing a half measure with it. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. I get this every freaking day. I get dozens and dozens and dozens of almost identical comments about Bassmaster, about memberships that are members that are disgruntled, lifetime members of Bass that are disgruntled, and they feel like their voices are not being heard. Simply because, like I said, we've all seen the way that tournament organizations handle this. And this inevitability that this is just technology and that you can't stop it and that's part of the way the sport evolves, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because the only reason that we're even having this conversation is the subsidies electronic companies give the tournament organizations. If the electronic companies had nothing to do with tournament organizations, they had nothing to sponsorship, or they didn't contribute anything financially to the organization, we wouldn't be dealing with this forward-facing sonar spotlighting cheater box crap. We wouldn't deal with it. It'd have been gone immediately. But hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping that Bassmaster and MLF start losing members, because once they do that, then they might make the right decision. That might force them to do the right thing. And eventually, they can get these members back if they do the right thing. But right now, members are just obviously dropping like flies, especially the members that have supported the organization for a long time. And this is one of the things that really pisses me off. It's like, you have got people out there like this person that I just read up there, like I said, have been loyal supporters of Bassmaster for decades and decades and decades. And that obviously is of zero value to them, because all they're listening to right now are the 20-year-old something group of people out there that have their umbilical cord tied to the live scope, or a handful of people out there that have incorporated into their fishing to the point where if that's taken away from them, you wouldn't even know who they are. They'd never make another check again in their life if they had to actually fish like real bass fishing's done. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. Hope everything's good. We'll talk later.